Alrighty, this entity that's engaged in the pattern of conduct. Germans being deported, okay? The entity's engaging in molestation with Ontario police is a psychopath. They're stalking together as an entity. Today, what you're going to pay attention to is the entity is documented on April 12th, 2026, stalking by plane, just like this, as I'm documenting, and then I juxtapose that. He's pacing. This is a psychopath, and he was stalking at 280 North Lemon last night. He's going to prison. License 1706921, 1127, and they're very suicidal. This is stalking with the Ontario police, 5YVN335. German's also going to prison. He's being deported. And this is Chevron that's engaging in the pattern of conduct with the City of Ontario. And this is also the entity that's inside of the Upland Public Library, for example, stalking by the City of Upland while I'm documenting the podcast of them stalking by helicopter this morning. That was an ongoing so-called ambush, okay? Germans in here engaging, I documented him waging false allegations, accusing me of stealing. When you're monitoring my vagina, you know very well I didn't steal anything. And he's stalking with the Ontario police. He's going to prison, okay? German's not a natural born citizen. He is going to be subject to deportation. And he is not coincidentally studying his device and keeping his back to me as well. He's listening to everything that I'm saying. This is P.O.C. with the Ontario police. This makes them feel better. They're going to be in prison. All right, that's the pattern of conduct. The entities engaged in that, they're over here. They're just floating in the sky space, stalking throughout the City of Ontario. They're stalking at the St. George Catholic Church, which is at the same corner. They're engaged in what is doing cartwheels over that parking lot, which is beyond the Starbucks. Ontario police engaged in kidnapping right here at this Starbucks. This is what they engage in while Chevron, the corporation, is being federally prosecuted. This is confirming what I documented on April 12, 2026. This is indeed federal prison. This is a sexual assault and battery. This is psychopath. License 5YVN335. This is the City of Ontario, the gangs. Okay, Paul Leon's not staying in office. Neither is Bill Velta. Okay, Marcelo Blanco's being federally prosecuted. That's prison as a terrorist leader. The same with Mike LORENZ. The U.S. military are homosexual psychopaths. So are the demons of the city. But these are the U.S. military. They're a bunch of psychopathic homosexuals whose criminal activity is based on their demon possession, and they're engaging in satanic means of surveillance. Psychotic. With asinine, because it's so psychotic and it's obvious. There is no airport takeoff over here, no destination. They're not headed to a destination over there. And that homosexual in the Ontario police vehicle is stalking. This is exactly what he did with the Ontario police in that video, which I took images of it actually. And they're stalking, flying west over the 280 North Lemon Apartments senior citizens, while that same demon is stalking in the path with the people of the state at that senior citizen complex. You see them flying what is north of that complex now, stalking me with Ontario police, doing cartwheels over the downtown Ontario luxury apartments, engaging in sexual assault and battery. This is what an entity is doing while they're hostile. They're still going to prison. They're still being disbanded. They're still being prosecuted for treason. And this is mental illness shared. ARCO's being prosecuted as well. Starbucks employees are already going to prison. The demons that are sharing in that pattern of conduct, including this demon, German, they're going to prison. This is P.O.C, okay? This is the entity that engages in that, but you're dealing with the mentally ill, and that's what you have, a body of evidence showing them engaging in the same unprofitable. You're not profiting from that other than me gathering evidence against you. That's the entity doing so outside of what's published on the website. These are the airlines that are stalking me in Upland, California. Also no destinations over there, while they're in furtherance of murders, stalking with light, psychopaths. Okay, pacing in that engineer light. Okay, that's the P.O.C. And that makes a psychopath feel better. I just want to be clear. Mike LORENZ, the demons of the Ontario police, he went to his vehicle, then he walked to the trash can, then he walked back to, he was pacing. You're witnessing their mental illness, okay? It's also a mental illness that you're witnessing while they engage in those patty ambush tactics. You're going to prison. You're being prosecuted for treason. You're being deported out of the country. You're being prosecuted as terrorists. What is it that you are gaining? Okay, this is the entity that's intimidated by me. These are a bunch of homosexual, effeminate males. They're not men. And moreover, they're not even human. They're demon possessed. Satan is using them, and they make very imprudent, foolish, stupid decisions. Okay, that demon's going to prison, and he knows it. The one that's right here in my face in that Ontario police vehicle, going to prison. Okay, Chevron stalking me, psychopathic pacing. At night, same thing with ARCO, psychopathic pacing by helicopter. That entire department is illegitimate, and everything that they're engaged in, which is shared by the entity that is engaging in that pattern of conduct. This is California Highway Patrol. Or is this Upland Police in Ontario? That's California Highway Patrol, okay? Gavin Newsom, that's engaging in domestic terrorism in the state of California, appointing the terrorist over California Highway Patrol that is documented gang stalking me on the roads and the highways, the freeways, far from Ontario, and the fake sun was over me and they were gang stalking the same. That's the entity that's engaging in that. They are surrounded with evidence as well. I just want to be clear, it's currently 7:48 p.m. That's the entity that's obsessed with me, seeks out attention from me. What's the attention that you're witnessing that they're getting? Evidence regarding what is establishing federal legislation to prosecute what is a mentally ill population for the protection of the American public. They're going to be locked down by martial law. Their demon-possessed kids aren't even going to school because we all know they're not even interested in education. That's why these vagina monitors under the age of 18 can't read, but they're monitoring you though. And they're monitoring your genitalia. They're sex offenders. Stalking with the government that's using airports to engage in surveillance, not actual legitimate business. Okay, that means everybody that has a job at the airport is engaging what is funding and facilitating terrorism. There will be no airport in Ontario. There will be no police department, fire department. The California Highway Patrol won't be able to gang stalk in Ontario, California anymore, like I have them under the fake sun throughout the duration of the day. Fake sunrise at Chevron, by the way, 6 a.m. in the morning, where you also know the fake sun is setting at that Starbucks after 6 p.m., after 7 p.m. through the drive-through window. California Highway Patrol is indeed gang stalking. While they want to cross path in this video, they are surrounded with evidence as well, far beyond Ontario, California. This is the P.O.C. It is currently 7:49 p.m. You're going to refer to what I'm documenting because, as I told you, the P.O.C. regarding surveillance is not only a relevant position around me while the entity of demons are stalking me, and they have failed in sacrificing me. They've sacrificed themselves. They've also sacrificed their mental well-being. You can see psychopaths that are stalking me. They're mentally ill. They're incompetent. Okay? The entity is engaging in what is monitoring on the venue of the internet. So this is the documented pattern. As I publish evidence, I publish evidence regarding Chevron. You have all these vagina monitors that are sitting there waiting for me to walk by Chevron. That literally was, all of that is about me. This is worship, okay? They worship me. They engage in rituals surrounding my vagina. They seek out my bodily fluids. They are stalking me in places like the bathroom, stalking me as I'm walking down the street. And that's exactly what this video shows, how you are stalking me while I'm walking down the street using commercial airline companies that don't have anything else to do. You know why? Because they're engaged in surveillance. This is all evidence that always deflects right back to the terrorists themselves who are going to be federally prosecuted. Southwest Airlines, every commercial airline company, a prosecution for treason. And I bet you're not considering that when you engage in futile, juvenile, sophomoric tactics that are not retaliation. It satisfies the demons, which is making them mentally ill. They're psychotic, and the mentally ill are going to prison because they are so incompetent and they are incapable of responding to the evidence within the P.O.C. In fact, they continuously engage in that cycle, confirming the truth of what it is that I've already shown you. These are the mentally ill that have to be separated from the American public. This is Mike LORENZ showing you the mental illness while a puppet of that department shares in the P.O.C. And they're going to federal prison for that. They're also being disbanded. Okay, that's P.O.C. It's currently 7:50 p.m. This is a testimony regarding what I continuously publish. Pay attention to my social media on YouTube. I publish the totality the rest of the day for April 12, 2026. Look at where I'm addressing what is Chevron at 506 North Euclid Avenue. This is giving you context regarding the demons that are hostile with every video that I publish, every podcast that I publish, while you're stalking me by helicopter inside of the Upland Public Library, while you're stalking me at the Chevron that I'm publishing evidence about, and I'm gonna prosecute Chevron for that. Chevron is a domestic terrorist under the law. Chevron's engaged in treason under Article 3, Section 3. That's unprecedented damages that Chevron has never contemplated, and I'm going to prosecute Chevron with the criminal activity of their own demon-possessed employees. That's P.O.C. It is currently 7:51 p.m.